2, 3, 2.
This is where I was scouted. This is where a part of my dream started for me.
Devante Dubose grew up playing soccer in Oakland at Bishop O'Dowd High.
Sports, and specifically soccer, helped me become me. It allowed me to be around the sports system, allowed me to be happy.
After 8 seasons away from the city, he's returning as the first player for a new professional club, Oakland Roots.
I think that'll be one of the best franchises in American history.
Devante has sport in his blood. His dad won the Super Bowl with the San Francisco 49ers.
I think I've always been a battle with kind of fulfill a legacy. You know, I wanted to create my own path. I wanted to achieve like he did, but I don't want to be like him.
No need to remind you, San Francisco 49ers!
But he says his career so far has been an uphill battle, ever since being cut from the San Jose Earthquakes in 2014.
Every failure has been a learning process. And so ultimately you learn enough, you know, you implement it into your next plan. So this is one of them.
And so the Roots can be that legacy for you.
My dad's legacy ended at 49ers here on the championship team, and I think this is where it begins for me, in the same neighborhood.
That's just something I can relate to. Turned on the gang, that's just something that I can't do. Fucking with the gang, yeah, I had to man up, one fist in the air. I ain't finna put my hands up.
Back when I was a little kid in the 70s, Oakland seemed like the center of the sports world.
And the Raiders have won the Super Bowl.
As the Oakland A's capture their 3rd successive world championship.
Oakland now is becoming the city of champions.
Ann Killian has been a sports columnist in the Bay Area for over 20 years.
People have never wondered where Oakland is because, in large part, because of its sports franchises. I think the identity of the community and the identity of the sports teams has kind of been one and the same over the years.
But 2 of its teams are leaving. The Golden State Warriors and Oakland Raiders are headed for other cities.
Where's the stadium in relation to this picture?
Stephen Aldrich is chairman of the Roots and the club's main investor.
The timing is right and the opportunity is huge. There's huge support for soccer in the city. We want to come in and be that team that people can root for.
There's this bit of identity crisis going on in terms of, you know, how we feel about these teams leaving.
Roots co-founder Idris Argandiwal thinks soccer is the solution, and that's where the Roots come in.
We haven't had a real professional soccer team here in Oakland. I see it as an opportunity for the Roots to fill a void and a gap.
The Roots play their first home game on August 31st, but there's still a lot of work to be done.
No sleep, stressed out of my brain.
We talked to Idris about how do we go get the list.
We have been working now for over 3 years to take the concept and turn it into reality. Literally, there are hundreds and hundreds of questions from the very minutia. How much does an official get paid and how do you schedule them for your games? All the way through macro questions like who are your sponsors?
There's a lot of money on the line too. It will cost $2 to $3 million a year to run the club.
Any new business is hard to build. Having been a startup founder, this feels really familiar to me. We'll see over the next couple of months how much work it really takes.
Nonetheless, the Roots team is excited for what's to come.
Cool.
Yeah.
I don't know how I will feel that day, man. I mean, seeing everything come to shape and our team take the field, it's a big deal, man, especially for the folks that were raised here, were born here, and to put on an Oakland jersey, words can't describe.
But the Roots aren't the first team to try this.
Over on the far side, that's kind of where our supporter section was.
In 2017, Brian Burke returned to the city where he began playing to join the San Francisco Deltas in their very first year.
It was just a really good season all around. I think we won most of our games. 10,000 people like kind of screaming and being loud. It was everything you kind of want as a professional athlete.
They took on 7 teams from across the US in the National American Soccer League, and they won it.
Fans stormed the field, we all stormed the field, and confetti everywhere flying in the air, and it was an experience I'll never forget, that's for sure.
Most of the season was a more somber affair. All too often, the stands weren't filled. Despite winning the league, there was bad news.
We were in the locker room, our owner came and talked to us, and he said, you know, there might not be a team anymore.
The Deltas were folding. The club put it down to money, but Brian believes that if more had been done to engage with fans, especially kids, the team might still be around today.
They asked me, what happened to the team? Why aren't you guys around? And it's kind of heartbreaking to hear that.
It's just so hard for anything, and I've seen it time after time with different kind of franchises that try to start up, and they can't get traction because there's just too much to compete with.
Devante doesn't want to repeat the Deltas' mistakes.
I'm back in my community, playing the sport I love, but ultimately giving back to that community to be an example.
He regularly volunteers with Oakland youth soccer organizations, representing the Roots.
It can be easy to throw money at a lot of organizations, which helps, it's a resource. But when you actually are there in the physical sense, when you're there interacting, you know, that's priceless.
Izzy and Max are two of Devante's mentees at Bishop O'Dowd.
I've always wanted to have a team in Oakland. My dad and I have already bought tickets to go to the first game.
The community is the lifeblood of how the Roots will survive and thrive. So our job right now is go out and let people know we're here and build those relationships.
I always love watching like heroes, and I feel like they can be my heroes in order to succeed.
When you make something about the community will not turn their back on you, and they will lift you up in times of difficulty.
We want to leave a different impression and a new impression.
If they can build a kind of a hardcore fan base, those people will be, you know, they'll be proud that Oakland has another team.
Ladies and gentlemen, Oakland's own Devante Dubose.
So tonight was our kind of inaugural fan event.
The Roots gathered in a downtown Oakland bar to announce their schedule, introduce Devante, and meet some potential fans.
It's going to take us multiple attempts to be great. Maybe we'll get it right on the first one, but my experience has been you do something, you learn, you get better. You do something, you learn, you get better.
We want you all to help us make great club on the field, a great club off the field.
The Roots itself is a name that means a lot to us. You know, we're rooted here. We were born and raised here, and we believe that success is grown from the ground up, and it doesn't happen overnight. And we're willing to be here and fight for it.
The Roots are starting small. Whether they grow into something larger depends not on their on-field quality, but on whether Oakland welcomes them.
I owe soccer my life.
Knowing failure very well, at this point, I feel like I choose the places that challenge me, and this one I've never believed in so much.